I wish somebody had told me this at the beginning of my weight loss journey, because if they had, it probably would have saved me years and many failed attempts. So if you're at the beginning of your journey, or you've been trying to lose weight for quite a while and haven't been able to make progress, this is probably why. And this is a piece of advice that you probably wouldn't have heard, and it wouldn't have occurred to you logically yourself, because it's counterintuitive and it goes against what you think of when you're trying to put together a weight loss plan. And the piece of advice is simply this: if you're trying to lose weight, which is reduce body fat, don't increase exercise. So this goes against what you logically come up with. As soon as you think you need to lose weight, that phrase comes to mind. Everyone knows the way you do it is eat less and move more. The problem is these two things don't go together, because your hunger will increase to the degree that you increase exercise. The body is very smart, and if you expend energy, whether that's going for a run, doing some cardio, or lifting weights in the gym, it's going to increase appetite to motivate you to replace those calories, and that's hunger. So if you're trying to eat less and you're hungry all the time, that's not going to help. Also, the extra exercise will require your time. You have to factor that in. You didn't go for a run before, now you need to find half an hour to go for a run every day, and chances are it's going to be the first thing that you don't do, because it's a new habit. And if you look at the root cause, you're not overweight because you don't move enough. You're overweight because you eat too much. So if you don't build body fat by not doing exercise, you build it by having too many calories. So unless you can address the root cause, which is eat less, or not even necessarily eat less, but eat the right things, then the moving more is irrelevant, and that's just going to make it harder to do the first thing. So focus on them one at a time. And I'm not saying exercise is bad. I'll get people in the comments, but exercise is great, it burns energy and it's going to help you be in a calorie deficit. Of course, exercise is brilliant, but you already can't do the eating part, so don't make it harder for yourself. And we tend to do this when we come up with a plan for New Year, say. We go, right, New Year, I'm losing weight, I'm getting in the best shape of my life. The first thing you do is go for a run. You never run, right? Now you're going for a run, you're starving, it's taking you time, it's just making it a lot harder than it needs to be. You need to figure out the basics. So you need to focus on diet and replace any processed food with single ingredient real foods. That's the point. If you're trying to lose weight, don't increase exercise. So then it comes back to the eat less. So I've done this many times. I've set myself up, it's coming up to New Year, it's December, I've binge eaten bad food over Christmas, and I say, right, New Year, I'm going to sort this out, sort my weight out. And the first thing I do is start running. I start increasing exercise, and then the hunger just goes up, and you just can't, it's just making it very difficult to actually stick to the diet. So now you've taken away 50% of your workload. You don't have to exercise more. You can focus all of that energy onto the thing that's actually going to get you the result. This is kind of like Pareto's 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions, and people spend 80% of their effort on exercise when it's the diet that actually brings the results. So a good system or a good business removes the 80% and just focuses on the 20%. And that's what we're doing. Remove exercise, and you don't have to remove it fully, but in the beginning I would. Until you've got diet down, don't even consider exercise. So just to give you a quick rundown of what the diet is going to entail. Don't even try and be in a massive deficit. Eat less is the motto. But I would recommend eating your maintenance. So what you want to do is take your goal body weight in pounds, multiply it by 12, and that's the amount of calories you should be eating each day. So that's just a rough number. Eat that amount of calories, but you have to get it from single ingredient real foods. So all processed foods go and they're replaced with single ingredient real foods. If you can't do that, adding exercise isn't going to help you do that. And so that's not going to benefit you. The only form of exercise I would recommend at this stage, while you're on the diet stage, is walking. And I'm not talking about hiking or speed walking. These are all common misconceptions, I think, that you have to do these extra things to get the result, and you don't. You just have to go for a walk. So I would recommend, while you're in the dieting phase, go for a very slow, moderate walk. Don't even try and get out of breath. Walking lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone, so it will actually make it easier to be on a diet, because you're going to raise cortisol, because normally you lower cortisol with foods. It's comfort eating. So if cortisol starts to rise, which will happen when you eat less and you eat foods that you don't normally eat, then you go for a run, that's going to raise cortisol. You're stressed and hungry. Now, are you going to be able to stick to that diet? It's probably going to be a lot harder. Whereas your cortisol starts to rise throughout the day, because normally you would eat palatable foods and that would sort it out. But you're not doing that because you're eating healthy foods. Cortisol starts to rise, then go for a walk. And if you don't have time to go for a walk, don't go for a walk. And you will lose body fat if the diet is correct. So the running and the cardio and the time in the gym is irrelevant. Once you've got the diet down, by all means add extra exercise, but do this very carefully, because in my experience, every time I've done that, I overeat. And it's predictable, it's like on a daily basis. And I have to really focus on keeping my diet in check. Now, you can actually increase your calories. So this is how I do it. If I do a workout, I do increase my calories to the degree that my appetite increases. So I'm basically always hitting a maintenance. But if your diet is clean enough, especially if you're in ketosis, if you're on a ketogenic diet, your weight isn't going to go up. So I hope that helps. Get the basics down, get the diet right. Once you've got 3 months worth of consistent weight loss just based on diet and walking, if you do want to add the low intensity steady state cardio, then that's fine. But you want to get a period of time where you've proved to yourself that, yeah, I've got this diet locked in. And as soon as you add exercise, you'll find you'll overeat that day, and that's fine. And once you do that, you recognise, oh yeah, and you can actually recognise, if you throw everything at it at the beginning, you're not going to know what effect each variable's having. So the first thing you want to do is get the diet down. Then when you know how that works, you know how you feel, you know how hungry you are, just with your baseline activities. So chances are, if you work or you've got a fairly active life, you have children, whatever it is, you're already doing a form of exercise. You've stood up quite a bit throughout the day or whatever it is. So you're already exercising. You need to know how your diet feels with that. Then when you add a workout in, you'll feel hungry and you'll go, oh yeah, I'm hungry, and you'll probably overeat that day. And it's all about learning how you respond to certain stimulus. And then once you do that, if you fail on any part of this, you know what it is. But on January the 1st, when you go for a run, you eat 3 salads a day, you change every variable, you change all of it, you're not going to know what had the effect. Was it the diet I'm struggling to stick to? Or was it the running that's making it harder for myself? Change one variable at a time, and you'll know, right, the diet I struggle with, you struggle with that for 3 months, and then you eventually get it and you go, right, I can do that. Then when you add exercise, you realise you overeat. Right, so it's that. So maybe I need to make the workout shorter. And then you can adjust. So that's it. If you're trying to lose weight, don't do exercise. Hope that helps. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.